Black Ops is officially back, which means it's time for my return to Call of Duty. The Platinum requires 48 trophies, and thankfully none of them are missable, making this a pretty straightforward trophy hunt. But don't let that fool you, because this campaign will still have you questioning your sanity. This is so dumb, this is so fucking... And after playing the Black Ops 7 campaign, I'd much rather rage because I suck at the game than because the game sucks. Is this the greatest Call of Duty of all time? Well, actually, yes. Yes, it is. We are gonna start off with the campaign, but first I got a trophy while playing zombies for getting 3 kills with 1 bullet. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording because I wasn't expecting to unlock anything yet, so I already managed to screw up the video before it even started. But shout out to the PS5 for recording all trophies you earn. As always, we're playing on Veteran, collecting every piece of intel, and grabbing as many mission trophies as we can. The story starts with Alex Mason getting interrogated over the most important question in gaming history: the numbers Mason. What do they mean?
Kiss my ass!
Which brings us all the way back to Cuba, with the goal of killing Fidel Castro. And if you ask me, I find it very believable that a guy who survived hundreds of assassination attempts would just be hanging out in his mansion while it gets bombed and invaded. I even got a trophy for headshotting this supposed Castro. Escaping the compound was the hardest part because the game glitched and blocked off my way of progressing through the level. I even tried praying to the Call of Duty gods to let me through. David Vonderhaar, if you're listening to me, David Vonderhaar, please lift this rubble so I can continue my mission. Yeah, well, they didn't answer. I had to restart the mission. At least I got to mag dump Castro again. While escaping, there was a tiny roadblock on our way, and we heroically jumped off to save our team. As a reward, I got injected with the winning lottery numbers by this guy Dragovich. Next, we had to escape a Soviet labor camp with our good friend Reznov. After introducing one unlucky guard to a rock, it was finally time to leave. Along the way, we met the greatest Call of Duty character of all time, Sergei Kozin, and his favorite hobby is murdering people with a giant pickaxe. I sure hope nothing bad happens to him involving a garage door. Next up, we had to take out guard towers with slingshots, and somehow I managed to unlock the trophy for doing it in only 3 shots on my first attempt. At the end of the mission, there's a trophy for destroying all enemies and vehicles. Thankfully, the game doesn't start counting until you get on the machine gun because doing it with a shotgun would be almost impossible. We then say goodbye to our good friend Reznov as his only goal was to make sure we escaped. The next mission was by far the hardest mission in the game. Some say it's the hardest mission in gaming history. We had to walk through the Pentagon to meet with JFK just because we want to have a word with him. Turns out, he just wanted us to kill Dragovich. Luckily, Reznov has already put that on my to-do list. So we made our way to a Cosmodrome to take out the man and to destroy a rocket ship. But unfortunately, our good friend Weaver decided he was going to get his eye gouged out by a guy named Kravchenko. So we had to save him as well. And after taking out these enemies with a Karambit Mason unboxed in CS2, we stole their uniforms to help us get into the base, where we found Weaver and his slight vision problems. Then we destroyed the rocket ship and tried to make our way to Dragovich. Unfortunately, this was also the first part of the game where I began to go slightly insane just like Mason. They fucking endlessly spawn? What is this bullshit? Oh my god.
One eternity later.
Oh, I got a checkpoint. I can die now. I don't care if I die. Whew. I think they endlessly spawn. I didn't think they did that in this game at any point. This guy, dude. So yeah, that was a little frustrating, and in the end, we didn't even kill Dragovich. Little did I know the next mission would be even worse and cause me to crash out. We were headed to Vietnam to investigate the presence of Soviet troops, and this mission is the undisputed king of infinitely spawning enemies. What are my fucking teammates doing? They're not shooting the guy in the weapons depot? Both of them. They're just fucking sitting there staring at him. There's still a guy ammo house. That's amazing. That's amazing. Nobody's killing this guy. I see him ammo house, and he's not even looking at him. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so impossible. This is fucking... You have to get to a point where there's no cover and there's always like guaranteed 5 guys shooting at you. This is so dumb. This is so fucking... They don't shoot the guy in the fucking weapons depot. And there's like 3 of them. You come down the hill and they just instantly fuck... I don't even know who's shooting me. You just gotta laugh. This is the dumbest shit I've ever played. I think I'd rather play the entire fucking Black Ops 7 campaign 10 times a day for the rest of my fucking life than try and make it down this hill one more fucking time. You know what? Fuck this mission. I'm dead. I got a checkpoint. There's checkpoints in this? We actually did it. I might be goated. So yeah, it turned out that all I needed was a break to clear my mind. The rest of the mission was considerably easier as there wasn't 10,000 enemies shooting at me. Thankfully, the mission ended on a high note when I managed to destroy 6 tanks with 6 missiles on my first try. Needless to say, I was thrilled that mission was over. The next mission had us searching for a defector who had intel on Soviet involvement in Vietnam. To celebrate making it through the last mission, I immediately committed a war crime by killing 10 enemies with dragon breath rounds. I just shot a civilian. We even found Reznov, who was definitely real and absolutely not a hallucination. And I think that's also the defector lying dead on the floor. Then, after stealing some guy's radio, I immediately used it to commit even more war crimes by calling in air support on a bunch of buildings. Next, we tracked down the guy who created the Nova 6 gas for Dragovich. And the best interrogation technique available was punching him with a mouthful of glass. Unfortunately, Dragovich wanted him dead, so he started running away. And unfortunately for me, there was a trophy for completing this mission only using dual-wield weapons. And because I'm a genius, I figured veteran difficulty was the perfect time to attempt it instead of just coming back on recruit. This guy, dude, like, it's so fucking... Literally just praying bullets hit him at some point. It's kind of annoying. There's a guy behind me. There's a fucking guy behind me. What the fuck is he? He's up there. Dude, what the fuck? Where did that guy come from? Where did he fucking come from? Did he just wake up from his slumber? Beat this with dual wields. Will your bullets hit him? We don't fucking know. Probably not. That guy, dude, that guy just beamed me and fuck. This guy right there, that guy just don't miss. The fuck was that? Open the door, Clark. That guy just beams me through the sheet metal. He just knows, dude. Yeah, well, you get the gist. This level was just not fun. Clark eventually gets his head blown smooth off and we somehow get the trophy. I will never be attempting this on veteran again, and I recommend you don't do this either. The next mission was a Reznov flashback fighting alongside our World at War hero Dmitri, being led by no other than Dragovich and Kravchenko. And every time I play this mission, I ask myself the same question. Why isn't the PPSH in Black Ops 1 Zombies? Our goal is to find the main creator of Nova 6, Steiner, who was casually enjoying a cigarette in his office, which for some reason he was willing to give up the secret formula. Unfortunately, Dragovich decided to test it out on Dmitri, sending Reznov into his villain arc, creating one of the most iconic lines in COD history.
Dragovich, Kravchenko, Steiner, these men must die.
And then while escaping the ship, I got the trophy for escaping with more than 2:15 left on the clock. While that is one of the most fun missions in the game, the highlight was how at the end of the mission I somehow lost connection to host during a single player campaign. The next mission we were back in Vietnam, where I was saved by the totally real Reznov, which now meant it was time to kill some Vietnamese with a knife. After killing 3 enemies, which is pretty much unmissable, I got a trophy. Later, I grabbed a Grim Reaper and knocked out another easy trophy by blowing up an MG nest. The rest of the mission was mostly rat tunnels, and since my teammate decided he didn't want to live anymore, it was just Reznov and I against the entirety of Vietnam. Next, we were in Laos, sailing on a boat, and since I don't want to get sued by the Rolling Stones, I will not be having any game audio. There's a trophy for destroying every structure in the level, and apparently I must have missed one deep in the jungle because I didn't get it, which would have been annoying if I hadn't also forgotten the intel. On my second time around, I had taken it a little slower and shot every square inch of the jungle to make sure all structures were leveled. The next mission, I was trusted with flying an SR-71 to guide my squad through the mission, which I may or may not have gotten them all killed. On my next attempt, I got them through safely and even got a trophy for guiding them all with no deaths. On the ground, our goal was to make it to a relay station, and because I am the master of sneaking around, I got a trophy for reaching it undetected, with no failed attempts. Later on in the mission, after escaping an avalanche, I realized I could farm for the 30 explosive crossbow kills by reloading the same checkpoint over and over. I also tried getting the 5 enemies with 1 grenade trophy, but apparently these guys are all wearing flak jackets, so I just gave up. The next mission, we were back in Laos playing a little friendly game of Russian roulette, and since Bowman didn't want to participate, he got a pipe in the back of the head. Unfortunately for the Vietnamese, we then forced them to play our game of being brutally murdered. We even got revenge on the guy that killed Bowman.
You see that hind? We're gonna take it.
The next part had us flying a hind, and there was a trophy for beating the section using only the rockets. That would have been a lot easier if the rockets actually went where I was aiming. This is so dumb. The missiles don't go straight. Oh my god. Come on, how's that thing not dead? Finally. I'm dead. I did all that just to die. After beating this, I then moved on to another annoying trophy for defeating 10 enemies with a flamethrower. Not only did the enemies still shoot you while on fire, but this thing had the effective range of a candle. Dude, that's impossible. Let's actually I think I know what I gotta do. Never mind. After way too many attempts of me getting nowhere, I decided to come back after on recruit so I wasn't facing Optic Gaming. At the end of the mission, Woods takes Kravchenko and a live belt of grenades out the window, leaving them both dead. I then replayed the mission on recruit because the flamethrower trophy was bothering me, and since the enemies didn't hit every bullet, I got the trophy easily. The next mission was all about killing Steiner. Nobody else seemed to want him dead, but Reznov said he needs to die, so here we are. And if you're with PETA, you might want to look away because I got a trophy for killing 7 monkeys in 10 seconds. Once we fought our way to Steiner, we watched Reznov absolutely murk him. The second half of the mission was from Hudson and Weaver's point of view trying to stop Mason. There was also a trophy for getting through the gas without dying, so I took it painfully slow because your hazmat suit doesn't regenerate. Turns out, none of that mattered. I gotta redo this fucking mission just to get to the streets. That is so dumb. After that, I was so tilted, I started dying in the dumbest ways imaginable. I was so angry, I had to replay this entire mission again. Eventually, we find Mason killing Steiner, which means Reznov has been a figment of Mason's imagination the whole time. I then replayed the mission for the hazmat trophy and somehow failed in an even dumber way. Oh no. Are you kidding me? The third time was the charm because on my next attempt, the game decided not to screw me over for once. Which brings us to the present where we are strapped being tortured for the true meaning of the numbers.
We're out of time. The Russians fucked you up.
Mason eventually broke out of the chair and wandered around the offices reminiscing about all the good times he had being brainwashed. Eventually, he snapped back to reality and finally remembered where the numbers station was.
Where?
Cuba.
Before the final mission, I went all the way back to the first mission in the game to get the 5 kills with 1 grenade trophy that has been avoiding me the entire time, and as a bonus, I got to mag dump Castro for a 3rd time. The final mission was on the boat we got brainwashed. There was also a trophy for taking out 2 helicopters with 1 missile. All you have to do is wait until they fly close together and then hope both of them actually feel like exploding. Fighting through the interior of the ship, I found the last piece of intel and even showed Dragovich the concept of drowning. After escaping, the campaign was finally over and the game rewarded me with a pile of trophies. After this, the game throws you into a match of zombies on one of the greatest maps ever, 5. There is one map-specific trophy here for killing the Pentagon thief before he takes one of your weapons, and most of the time he will succeed in his mission. Luckily for me, I got the ray gun and was able to upgrade it, so he should die very easily. Oh wait, I'm washed. The next attempt, the game took pity on me and gave me an insta-kill, so the Pentagon thief got deleted the second he spawned. For the rest of the zombies trophies, I enlisted the help of the greatest zombies player of all time, Mater the Frog. The first thing we did is he upgraded the crossbow and shot me with it, basically turning me into a human monkey bomb, and after killing 6 zombies while having an explosive bolt inside of me, I got the trophy. I was then trying to get the ballistic knife so I could revive him with the upgraded version, but apparently these are the rarest weapons in the game because I kept getting everything else. Oh my god, they actually exist. Mater then heroically sacrificed himself and let me use them to get the trophy. I then saved up a bunch of points and went around the map on a shopping spree buying up every wall weapon. We then decided to create a challenge for ourselves where each round we could only stay in a specific room, and as you could probably guess, that ended up about as well as you'd expect. I think you need to use your fucking thing and pray we get an insta-kill or something. Alright, it's Jover. Hold on, I got 2 claymores. And a bunch of grenades.
Oh my god. You call me a track star?
I'm dead.
Oh, I'm dead?
You're dead. You could have got out of that if you really focused. Back at the main menu, we broke out of the chair and then used the computer to unlock Dead Ops Arcade. Back in another lobby with Mater, he helped me hoard up zombies so I could dash through 20 zombies at once for another trophy. We even set a new personal best of round 35 before immediately getting destroyed by dogs.
Dog, bro!
We were determined though because a few days later we did beat Dead Ops, which for me was 16 years in the making. Next was the only multiplayer related trophy, which was for reaching rank 10 in combat training, which wasn't too hard because putting the bots on recruit basically meant they wouldn't even shoot back at you. Okay, maybe I died a few times. The final trophy, we were back at the terminal and had to unlock the most confusing game of all time, Zork. This is a text-based game and is almost impossible to play without a guide. Wow, that really was a Call of Duty Black Ops. To rate this game's platinum, there is nowhere else to put it but an S tier. This is my favorite Call of Duty of all time, and the trophy list is a nice blend of trophies that are neither too easy or too hard. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all for the platinum of Black Ops 2.